So Kim Kardashian says we didn't land on the moon. It's linked to a whole fight with NASA. The NASA administrator now responding to her being like, no, Kim, we actually landed on the moon 6 times. In a recent episode of her series, The Kardashians on Hulu, Kim Kardashian was talking to actress Sarah Paulson about some of her conspiracy theory beliefs.
A million interviews with both Buzz Aldrin and the other one.
Do it.
This girl says, what was the scariest moment? And he goes, there was no scary moment because it didn't happen. It could have been scary, but it wasn't because it didn't happen. So he's gotten old and now he like slurs on his thing. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. So I think it didn't happen.
What Kardashian appears to be referred to is a clip that circulated online. There's a couple of clips that are taken out of context that try to prove that Aldrin has admitted not going to the moon. The clip she's focused on is one from the Oxford Union. He answered student questions there about 10 years ago and was asked about the scariest moment. And he says there wasn't a scariest moment because it didn't happen. He then goes on to explain that it was a circuit breaker issue, that something that took place on the moon that could have been the scariest moment didn't take place. So it's sort of an ineloquent way of explaining that the scariest moment actually didn't unfold in the worst possible way. There are 2 other instances that have been brought up over time that people like to say is Buzz denying being on the moon in his latter years. Both are clipped off and taken out of context. One is from another questioner asked about why the U.S. didn't return to the moon. He says, because we didn't go there, literally just saying we didn't go back to the moon because we literally decided not to go back there. Again, slightly ineloquent there. And then there's a Conan O'Brien clip from about 20 years ago where he explains that people's memories of the live event aren't exactly accurate because there were no live pictures at the time. You were watching animation. But he goes on to talk about his time on the moon. He was just speaking literally about people's memories of that first moon landing. And if you just play out these clips a little longer than whatever TikTok is feeding Kim Kardashian and others, you will get that full context. In fact, he has gone so far as to punch people in the face who accuse him of lying about landing on the moon. Take a look at this famous clip.
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling a kettle black if I ever thought of saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
About 60,000 people were involved in NASA and the moon landing missions. Again, the U.S. landed 6 times in the late 60s and early 70s on the moon. And there's an incredible amount of evidence to that. If we had some sort of conspiracy theory that we didn't actually land on the moon, tens of thousands of people would have had to keep that secret and provide no evidence or no leaks for, 50 years plus at this point. And as we know, when it comes to the government, if even more than one person knows something and it's pretty significant, it leaks out. And there is a massive amount of evidence from the moon missions of the late 60s and 70s. And then, of course, NASA budgets got out of control. We were facing a recession. So the U.S. stopped going to the moon after that. But we will now be returning. In fact, the NASA administrator, Sean Duffy, has invited Kim Kardashian to the next moon mission launch that is set to be in spring of next year.